Hello and welcome to the Lewis Daylily Garden. Today I wanted to show you how I pick my pollen, store it, put it in a freezer, sometimes save it in a refrigerator, and then I want to show you the process of when I want to unfreeze the pollen and take it out into the garden and how long it is good for. All right, just a minute. Now I like to use paper envelopes to store my pollen in the freezer. You can use matchboxes, little plastic vials. It's all a matter of personal preference, but I've had the most success with paper envelopes. I like to write the name of the pollen parent on the top of the envelope and the date that I stored it. So let's move on to the picking of the pollen. Alright, here's my anther of pollen, and I'm going to take some tweezers and remove most of the stem there. So there you go. There's the pollen, and I'm going to put this in the envelope. So let's do that. I don't know how well you can see this, but you can see I've taken 3 pieces of pollen and put it at the bottom of the paper envelope. Now I'm going to seal it up and put it in the freezer. All right, here we are in the kitchen. I like to store all my paper envelopes with pollen here in the left-hand corner. And you can see I've got a nice collection of different pollens with the dates on them. Now I'm going to tell you what to do if and when you want to unfreeze some pollen. Let's do that. Okay, so today I want to unfreeze some pollen of Sonic Tempo. And you can see I stored this back on June the 19th. I'm gonna take it out, open up the envelope. Hang on here. Okay, you can see I've got 2 things of pollen there. I like to open the envelope to give it a chance to thaw, and it needs to thaw for at least 15 minutes, a minimum of 15 minutes. Set your timer and then wait for the timer to go off. After 15 minutes it's ready to use. Speaking with some of my daylily friends, I've been told that the pollen's good for the rest of the day, and you can refreeze the pollen if you like. And in this instance, I will do that. I'm going to take this and put this back in the freezer. But generally speaking, pollen is good for 48 hours from the moment you pick it. And I'll show you in our pie safe. I like to do this. Here's my cat Bryn. In the pie safe, you can see I have some pollen from Chevrons of Plenty picked yesterday. So that pollen is still good this morning. I keep it in here because these animals like to go and try to play with it. And that's not good. Okay, I'll stop it there. Okay, you can take your bloom that you just freshly picked and store it in the refrigerator in a Dixie cup. Now I've put a little bit of water at the bottom of this Dixie cup to help keep the flower fresh. Let's put her in here next to the Pizza Hut. Push this back, and you can leave flower in the refrigerator overnight, and it should be still fresh tomorrow morning, and you can use the pollen. Take it out, give it about another 15 minutes just to thaw, and then go out in the garden and get to work with it. I'm trying to think of any other thing I should tell you. Just one thing to add. Don't forget that if pollen is wet, it is usually unusable. The best time to pick pollen is in the morning, early in the morning, usually after the sun has come up, but don't let it get beaten down by the sun for too long, because either the sweat bees will go after it or it'll wind up just frying the pollen. So it's better to get it like right when it's fresh. You'll be able to tell when it's yellow on the tip. All right, I hope that helped. Happy gardening to everyone.